watching Force 13 Live. Welcome to Force 13 HQ. That's what you're seeing on the webcam right now, the current situation at HQ. And you can see there's a lot of rain going on right now and strong winds as well. I'm not on my own this evening. I'm joined by David and Craig. Hello, guys.
Hello, Nathan, and good to be back on air.
Good to be back on air. A simultaneous hello there from you two. David, of course, in Australia, so you might be... Is there sort of a little disconnect here, or do you feel like you're right with us, David?
Well, with technology advancing so rapidly, I feel that I'm in the UK or even up there in Scotland, but the global weather scene is... generating some very interesting systems.
Yeah, the UK and Scotland.
Oh yes, we're obviously independent here. There's something's gone horribly wrong. I must have missed something out here. I've not been told something.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, Craig, how are things going on over there in Scotland? What's the weather like?
Well, I haven't had much rain action or wind, but probably that's going to change in the next 24 hours, possibly. So the latest forecast, it's not looking pretty for here. We're supposed to have green echoes, yellow echoes, you name it. That is very heavy rain. So potential flood chance here as well.
Well, at the beginning of our show this evening, we're going to be exploring what's been going on with Windstorm Barney, as the Met Office has decided to name
God.
it. Force 13 have called it Elsie. And you can find the latest information on that storm on the Force 13 website.
I'll just show you I'll just show the viewers what it is. I'll quickly get it up. And I'll quickly show them what it is. And
showing what exactly?
Oh wait. The storm tracker map, just to let everyone know.
Yes, I'm just typing the link out now to show people what the link is. That is the link. Force13.com. It's quite a long-winded one, and it's not available from the home page. So you might want to type that in if you're interested in UK weather. Force13.com/storm tracking/watch.html is the place to find the updates that we're doing on every storm that passes in the European region these days. Windstorms, of course, as we've had one this evening. 84 mile/hour gusts were reported in Wales not so long ago. And it's been very gusty elsewhere. Not far from my location in Liverpool, we had wind speeds of sustained winds, I think, of 51 miles/hour, I think they were. Here at HQ, I don't know exactly what the winds have been, but they've been fairly strong. And we appear to have lost Craig for the moment, so I'm going to take us onto our little feature. And this is... I'm going to show you a video that I captured earlier this evening, showing that what was going on here at HQ. And I've not quite got it yet. So, David, tell me what's new.
Well, as I said a couple minutes ago, the global weather scene is again heating up. Yesterday over in the United States, some very, very severe weather and some multiple tornadoes were reported, and there's still some interesting weather to come over the remainder of this week over in the States. And over here in the South Pacific, we're watching a tropical low that could reach cyclone status, but We'll probably know within the next 48 hours or less. But
Well,
do you keep? Sorry.
we'll talk about those in more depth in a moment, David. But now I want to bring to you that video that I promised a few seconds ago, showing what the conditions were like here not so long ago. We'll be talking tropics, by the way, later on in the show as well. So regular viewers, you might want to stay put for a while. Here's what we caught here at HQ. Just outside Force 13 HQ. I'm not going to go any great distance. I'm actually in shelter, as you can see, to hide from the rain. This is Windstorm Barney. You can hear the wind more behind me. Wind's not the most severe, but pretty bad. Certainly dramatic when you hear it in the background. Earlier today we had wind gusts of over 70 miles per hour in Wales. I have no idea what the winds are here. They're certainly rather serious, 20 to 30 miles an hour at least. Gusting possibly higher. I've only just stepped out here, so it might have been worse earlier on. No way of knowing. Definitely hear a lot from behind me. Oh, and now there's the wind in front of me as well. This is down the side passage of Force 13 HQ. You can hear the furious wind in this passage. Like we're being hit by a ghost. We're certainly being hit by something. That's a buffet of wind that just came through this passage. Well, there's not much else I'm going to really show you from what you've already just seen, but hello. It's really cold out here. This is me, Nathan Foy, hello. And one day maybe I'll be a proper severe weather watcher, who knows. But right now it's just waiting and seeing what goes on with Barney. There could be snow on the way as well, so stay tuned at Force 13 HQ. We could see anything going on this winter. Rumblings, it could be like the severe winter we had in 2009 during the... because what's happened is that we've had very similar events to what happened in 2009, with the El Nino effect, of course, happening worldwide. But what happened here just last week is that there were flood warnings in Cumbria, on around Cockermouth. Now you remember Cockermouth, people who know the UK, Cockermouth had really bad flooding problems back in 2009 when we had an El Nino, and then after that was in November as well, by the way, and after that, into that winter, we ended up having terrible amounts of snow all winter, and lo and behold, Sunday, as far south as Gatwick Airport could be seeing snow on Sunday, this Sunday. Don't know whether that will materialise, but certainly Scotland and the northeast of England should be watching out for that. Looks like it's dying down here, so I'm going to rush back in, but hey, there's a little snapshot on what we saw of, oh, then again, nope, I'm just in my shelter. It is pretty bad here. This is what we saw of Windstorm Barney. And indeed, what we are still seeing right now of that windstorm, Force 13 HQ have called it Elsie, and you can see the latest information on that at force13.com/storm-tracking/watch.html. That would be for the latest information. Of course, Force 13 doesn't only do that, it does storm tracking as well. And we're back with the team, David and Craig. Lee is apparently joining us later on this evening as well, guys. Any developments, that anything that you two would like to mention at this point?
Yeah, just a quick glance at obviously the only storm that is named, which is Infa. That's got plenty of meanings up in Scotland, what I'm Infa or that sort of thing, but still. A tropical storm Infa, not looking impressive on the colour imagery, but on the on the visible, it is looking really impressive. There's the tail and the inflow, that sort of area. Good outflow coming from the outer bands way down to the south. You see the peacock effect there with the fanning of the cloud. That's the outflow that's showing some good signs that it's nice and strong and it's being pulled with it. So that's a good sign that it could become a very strong typhoon, whatever.
Yeah, I've got to point out at this point that there are watches and warnings in effect. I believe they're still the same as what they were earlier. A tropical storm. Now, I've got to find the graphic that I made for this because the spelling of some of these places.
That's a bit dodgy.
Let's just go and take a look at the Skype screen there that Craig's showing us whilst I go and find that information.
Yeah. Now, if there's eagle-eyed viewers out there who are watching this, you've probably noticed this little feature appearing towards the centre. Now, I'm not sure about it either. I'm not sure whether you'll probably agree. Is that an eye? Is that an eye will try and appear? Could we see a typhoon in probably next 2 to 3 advisories? Maybe even more than 3? Possibly 5 advisories, but I'd probably think we'd see that in the next 24 hours being a Category 1 typhoon. Maybe for even if it's...
Well, I want to point out the warnings in effect now. A tropical storm warning is in effect for an island called Sapwafik, I think it is. Sapwuafik. And I'm
not going to try and pronounce.
Yeah, a tropical storm watch is in effect for Pohnpei and other islands in Pohnpei State. Those islands being Nukuoro and Pakin. And in Chuuk State, the tropical storm watch is in effect for Lucanor, Losap, Chuuk, and Fananu in Chuuk State. Fananu in particular I'd be most concerned about because that is north of Chuuk, which is where the storm is expected to go. Guam as well should be definitely monitoring this storm because it could be affecting that area as a significant typhoon in around 3 days' time.
And I'll just show the forecast track of the tropical storm at the moment. Here's Infa's track. Its forecast track is supposedly to track just south of Guam and the Marianas Islands completely, but pass just south of them as a Category 2 typhoon. Very significant to say the least, but is that forecast track hinting at a slight Category 4? I could possibly do see a Category 4 coming up onto the forecast.
125 miles an hour. Don't forget that's the end of that run as well. There's nothing to say that it will weaken after that 5 days.
No, oh no. Because that could mean it could become a Category 4, maybe even stronger than Cat 4, maybe push for the Cat 5 stage. That's probably
I'm just showing the JTWC graphic right now, and you can see the island of Fananu to the north of Chuuk there. And that's the reason why I said they should be most wary of this because it's the closest location to where it's first going to become a typhoon, if this forecast is correct,
Mm.
in the next few days. That's going to be on
Yeah.
day 2, 36 hours from now.
Right. Try and point out where Windstorm Barney is at this precise moment in time. I believe that's him coming into the picture now on the satellite imagery of the
Yes,
UK.
and there's X-Kate at the top right,
Right
fading
here.
into obscurity on the coast of Norway.
Breaking very quickly as well. There she is at her extratropical glory. Very organised. There's an eye that appeared there, but
Oh,
didn't
come
last
off
very long.
it. A centre of circulation, perhaps.
That sort of thing, you know. Still, so Barney has definitely made landfall, but not as potent as what I'd have thought Scotland would have got. I thought we would have got some very high winds. Still, heavy rainfall is still yet to come, but as we all know, well, some of us know, these are some of the pictures that were taken in from Windstorm Barney. These are the
Oh, I see.
what we would call. Would you call it storm surge if you wanted to call it? You could probably call it storm surge if you wanted to.
Rough waves.
Just like that. Yeah, very rough sea. You see how tall those waves are getting right over and getting. See how strong the wind is blowing the water inland. But then for the barriers there to stop that, some significant flooding. I don't know how many people are without power at this minute. I think thousands are. Here we are. More than 3,000 customers are without power in North Wales.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me because North Wales is where the strongest winds have been this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout
And
most of the
also
day, actually.
2,220 homes in Oxfordshire are also without power as well.
The Republic of Ireland had strong winds today as well, with winds of 61. I think
Yes.
it was 65 miles per hour in Dublin and in Shannon. Both airports reported wind speeds of 65 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
I've not taken a look at the comments yet. Are there any yet? Maybe not. I mean, there's one or two little comments about
Yeah.
the situation there. Someone's saying it sounded like a depression since I said winds were about 30. It was just a massive guess from my part. It was probably more than that, but I've no
Right,
idea.
just show you the satellite
what
structure of
the
it.
wind speeds would have been. I know that in the area there are winds of 35 miles an hour in Manchester and winds of 51 in Liverpool, which is 25 miles from my location. Well, if you've got anything to say about the broadcast, anything that you'd like to mention during the show today, please get in touch, and I'd be more than happy to. We'd be more than happy to reply, wouldn't we?
Yeah. The odd question wouldn't go amiss either.
Yeah, the odd one.
The odd one.
Yeah. So, there's someone who touched on it at the very start of the show, actually, Craig, who asked the question. There's me, by the way. Hello. Looking a bit windswept. Who asked the question? What do you think of? Well, what do we think of this whole naming fiasco going on with the Met Office?
I just find it bizarre.
Bizarre.
Yes, as I've said before this even all kicked off, don't name extratropical storms like Abigail and Barney and that. Only name tropical, for crying out loud.
Yes.
Don't name windstorms. Yes, I know they
well,
can be very violent, but naming windstorms.
We
What
go
next?
along with it, I suppose.
What
yeah,
next?
there
I'll
we
be
are.
naming Antarctic storms next. God.
Don't give them ideas.
Met Office, get that out of your head. Get it out of your head. Immediately.
Alright, let's take a look at some models then, shall we?
Yeah, let's get some models into this.
I've already got the model up here for the Atlantic and East Pacific.
Okay.
Do you want me to screen
I'll
share
get the
that,
best
Craig?
Go ahead, Ross. I can...
I will attempt to screen
go ahead.
share that.
Let's hope it doesn't break.
Pardon?
Let's hope it doesn't break.
Yes, I'm just loading it. Here it is, the Atlantic and West. This is the CMC model first of all. Now we know what the CMC is like, and look
Very
what it
violent.
predicts: a significant
A Cat
hurricane
5?
and a tropical storm merging with a hurricane in the eastern Pacific. That's going to be Rick. And there's another one.
There's got to be some sort of fidget water effect going on there.
Another
There's
one
like
that makes
some
landfall in Mexico.
what looks like a hurricane in the Atlantic.
And then later on, there's another storm that forms off the coast of Mexico and eventually makes landfall. Take a look. Sorry? That's our
What was that system in the central Atlantic there? That looked like a hurricane of some description.
It was a very big low pressure system. I'm not convinced it's tropical at all.
Probably not. Probably
Here's
won't be.
the GFS. Well, it does
This
predict something there, look.
Let's see something up
I
there.
don't think that's tropical though.
That probably would never be tropical in the first place.
And then what looks like 3 systems in the eastern Pacific here on day 7.
Good
One
God.
north of Hawaii, one weak one over here, and one developing right down there, below 10 degrees north. That's way down. And
Yeah, that's very
developing
bad.
as well. Look at it. That's a really interesting scenario, and a big low pressure system off the coast of the Pacific Northwest there at the end of that run as well, and another one off the coast of the UK.
God. I have a question here, Nathan, if you wouldn't mind answering this one. I probably should know this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Devin, I've just seen in the chat here saying that Infa, Devin, he's put Infa is going through a consolidation phase. What does he mean by consolidation?
Well, neither weakening or strengthening. I mean, sometimes you can call an eye-wall replacement cycle a consolidation phase. But before we get onto that, I just want to point out here the NavGem model is very interesting indeed, predicting a late-season Atlantic storm off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula there. And it's not the depression either. That's at least the storm there that you're looking at.
Yeah,
Makes
that's
landfall on the Yucatan.
It's like a tropical storm, maybe even. Nah, it's not a hurricane. It's a
It
tropical
could be a
storm. But
hurricane.
it could be a hurricane.
But that doesn't have any support by any of the other models.
No,
So I
so
think
that
we'll
it's
leave
that
that
against the
where it
world,
is.
basically. GFS, as in the precipitation model for West Pacific, has a typhoon info, 984 millibars, and no other system following behind it. Sadly, well, not sadly, but it's something to track, something to keep our eyes on. It still continues in the last frame at 984 millibars. No, not much change.
I'm here now.
Monsoon troughs above the Luzon, so that's probably signifying formation for a typhoon's probably favourable, unfavourable, that sort of area.
Well, I did look at the wind shear earlier on for the Guam area, and it's very high there. Sea surface temperatures are very good, very high, all the way up to the same latitude as Taiwan and the southernmost Japanese islands. It's looking very good for sea surface temperatures. But yes, wind shear is pretty poor around Guam and beyond. But for the time being, the next day or two during its track, it's looking pretty okay.
GFS for the South Pacific, they do have 93p. Sadly, doesn't become anything, doesn't give us anything to track in the southern hemisphere. Has it dissipating, or peaking at 1006 millibars, and then getting a second peak at 1007, and then dissipating. And then after that, nothing forms. So as everything goes quiet, check South Indian, see what's happening there, see what they predict. Better not be predicting a severe tropical cyclone, or an intense tropical cyclone of some description. And there I have it, I was wrong. They have a tropical low of some description. They have a tropical storm, 1005 millibars, but I know there has been depressions with that air pressure before. And it then peaks at 1004, 1003 millibars, moving southeast, southwest, that sort of direction. And then it keeps going, and doesn't become really anything. It's probably becoming a tropical storm. Let's see what it does become after that. Well, beforehand, it becomes nothing. It barely becomes a tropical storm.
Well, I now want to point out something else that's going on further to those models. The National Hurricane Center, if you've not found out yet, say that there's a 70% chance of development for that invest in the Eastern Pacific. A 40% chance in the next 48 hours, but 70% in the next 5 days. So that's one system that may well form in the next few days. Craig, what do you think? Will we see a Rick?
It'd be nice to see a Rick, but I'd probably be a bit soon. But I needed to see the National Hurricane Center. I have looked at it. It does look a very compact system. It does look like it could form. I'm not writing off that it won't form. Looking at the National Hurricane Center now, it does have a very good opportunity, and I could possibly see a disturbance near Panama, Costa Rica, that sort of area. Maybe even Colombia, that affecting that area, possibly, or could be, or maybe even future Sandra could come from that.
Lord.
Who knows?
Well, at this point, yes, I want to go ahead and show the all the other systems that are active around the world. Or would you like to do that, Craig?
Well, there's not really much active.
There's a few invests out there.
Few investors. There's a pickle of them.
There's only
Pickle of them.
oh,
yeah.
got noise in the background. That sounds
And it's
like Lee's
Lee.
arrived.
I'll see you later, Douglas. I'm actually still on the bus.
Lee's on a bus.
I'm on the bus just now. I wouldn't be long to home, but
I
just
see,
out the show. Yeah,
I see, you're out of some sort of...
just out the show.
Well, tell them to watch the language. Oh wait, that won't work. Well,
Yes, because they are on air.
and they are Scottish. They love swearing, don't they, Craig?
Oh, get lost.
Alright, well, it's
Invest
gone,
94W.
it's gone all quiet with Lee now.
He must have muted himself.
He's probably muted.
Yeah, he's muted himself. Anyway, 94. I'm
Yeah.
gonna recorrect myself there. I did say 95.
Well, I'm just going to load up some of the other imagery that we've got as well of the other invests. Now, of course, 90E is the one that's likely to develop into a tropical cyclone in the East Pacific. We've also got a few others that I'm going to show now. This here is Invest 97B, which is over, well, sort of over India right now. It looks rather pathetic, actually.
It's looking terrible now.
It's
not
shocking.
looking good. It's more than shocking for crying out
And
loud.
then we've got
It's
Invest
terrible.
94S here, which is in the southern Indian Ocean somewhere. Where exactly is that, Craig?
I have no idea.
We'll get up another perspective on that one in a moment. And here's
Hang
Invest
on, let's see how this is.
93P, which is located near the Solomon Islands, and there's not really that much to it at the moment on that one either. So
No.
that's Invest 93.
Here we go. Right. It's a very large, compact system, but the central core is well completely exposed when if it does form one eventually. I'll screen share that, if that's okay.
I'm just going to show the latest on the screen right now, the latest image from the Indian Ocean showing everything that's going. Oh, you're showing the same thing pretty much.
There's
so 90. Was it 93S?
93 or is it 94?
The one that's got an S at the end of it it's 94.
It's 94. It's
94S,
94.
Located to the west there, not far from the Seychelles. Is that the one I'm looking at, or is it
This
the
is
one
the
to
big-
the east?
This is it here. Well, it's actually here.
It's the one to the
Yeah.
east, is it?
This little area, but I'm considering this whole entire area is that.
I'm struggling to see what you're pointing at there, Craig. Is it the one south of Sri Lanka?
Well, this one here.
Oh, now I can see what you're pointing at. Yes, so it is the one south of Sri Lanka that's 94.
It's not that. It's this.
What?
Look.
What?
It's this.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
No, you didn't say that. You said yes when I was pointing at that. Foolish.
No, of course it's not
Okay.
that. That big thing
said-
to the
You
southeast
said
of Sri
yes.
Lanka.
Yes.
It's
Right.
94S,
Yeah,
but
you
there are also
that's 94.
some other interesting flare-ups in the southern Indian Ocean right now.
Okay. No one knows that.
I was almost convinced it was the one next to the Seychelles, actually, because 94S looks rather disorganised there. But
And this one here looks.
who knows? It could get its organisation together and become Cyclone Annabelle.
And don't tell Jean.
One particular person is very interested in seeing the formation of that particular storm.
Don't tell him.
Craig, why are you covering your face?
Because I don't want Annabelle to form at this precise moment in time.
Well, it's going to have to at some point, Craig.
It will. That's what I said. I don't want Annabelle to form at this precise moment in time because Jean will go mental. And we don't want that. Oh dear.
Okay.
It'll be a lucky escape for us.
Any questions for us whilst we're on air? We're not here forever. We're only here for another half hour. So please get your questions in if you'd like to have them answered. And if there are no questions, then we can only assume that we are answering everyone's questions without them even being asked. Oh boy. One can hope.
Outrageous from India. I'm not saying that they're foolish. They've definitely got more brains than the National Hurricane Centre sometimes. 20 knots, it doesn't even look a 20 knot invest anymore. You can definitely tell that it's looking nothing like it.
Well, it's not about how it looks, is it? It's what we
No, it's about probably the best point of finding out what it's like is probably asking the people in the in the Bay of Bengal coast of India.
Well, let's take a look at the latest Himawari image then right now. You can see some of the Indian Ocean on there. There you can see that Invest 94S. Looks more impressive on Himawari actually, I think. Over Indonesia, a few flare-ups on the western coast there. Moving over towards the Philippines, a pretty quiet day over there by the looks of things, not too much cloud in the area. Then we eventually move east and we find this thing. This is Tropical Storm Infa, which is near the Micronesian Islands. Most of them too small to see on this satellite imagery, or they might be underneath a cloud somewhere. But the Mariana Islands are somewhere up here. I can't seem to find them.
Here.
No, I know they're on there. I'm trying to find them on this Himawari imagery, which I can't seem to do right now.
They're getting affected probably by some thunderstorms. Some thunderstorms are getting affected by some, not many, but some. Good belt of thunderstorms right behind it, just north of Infa.
Further east, looks like it's on the equator perhaps, or maybe slightly south of it. There's another little system that looks rather interesting. I think it is.
Which one? This one.
The equator. I think it's half chopped off on your screen, Craig.
Oh, this one here.
To the east. No, further east. That looks interesting, but I don't think that'll develop into anything. And then we move.
Oh, this one here, right?
Yeah, and there's not much going on further north as you'd expect. Pretty quiet time of the year for tropical cyclones. November is actually the second quietest month ever. Climatologically speaking, the second quietest month for tropical cyclones. So the first quietest is in April.
Nathan, just to point something out, is this the system you were inquiring about?
Yes.
Well, there you go. This is it right now. This is what it looks like. We could easily see 94p coming out of that.
I think so.
Well, I like to hope so.
No, that's not 93. 93p is...
93's there.
Yeah, the one south of the Solomons.
And a sorry state.
It's not looking good.
Last night it was looking brilliant. Thought it might develop. Until now. Ooh. But this one's definitely got a good chance of developing.
Yeah.
Right,
Lee, would you like to give us an update for a few moments about what's going on at your place weather-wise?
At the moment, it's rather cold right now. It's only 4 degrees. Rather chilly. Glad I'm on the bus going home.
Yes.
I'll give you a better update once I'm in the house. I'm in the house in about 5-10 minutes.
Excellent. I'm just trying to buy some time, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
I won't be long. I won't be long.
Australia's scene, we'll just give the people insight of that, see what's happening there.
The Australian.
Not much possible. Well, it's at 94S. I hate it when it does that because the image is just... The pixelated is horrible. And it also gets blown up, so you can't tell which is which. You can't tell if that's... Right, so that's obviously saying that is 94S, right, that's fine. Yeah. So everything's good there. So no need to panic. There's what's the southern quadrant of Infa.
Oh,
Just
yes.
giving a small insight of how large this system really is. This is a very large
Its
system.
influence, I suppose.
Oh, this is its. Well, this is what you probably want to call its tail if you wanted. You could call it its tail.
The tail end of it.
It's
maybe.
it's got two tails. It's got its central. Well, it's got its rotation tail to the north, which is a good sign of good development, and also your average tail sticking out behind it.
Too much tail talk, Craig.
Oh, for God's sake! But still, I'm not going to get hung up on tails here.
I'm just going to look at the latest model ones. I appreciate you may have seen them already, Craig. I'm just going to take a look for the viewers what's going on with the models for the West Pacific and the Indian Ocean. The GFS says this, predicts that the Infa will continue to intensify near Guam, possibly making a direct landfall on Guam, and then proceeding towards the north and becoming maybe even stronger, reaching a peak near the Japanese Ogasawara Islands and Iro 2, and then moving off towards the northeast. Now, tracking back there for a moment, just want to see what happens in the Indian Ocean. Yes, you can see what might become Annabelle there, certainly a tropical disturbance, maybe depression going on with that, possibly an Annabelle. Quickly with the CMC, I just want to show everyone what's going on there. Probably pandemonium as always. And this
aggressive.
is the CMC predicts. Doesn't predict anything apart from Infa until later on, even though that's blatantly wrong. And then eventually possibly landfall in the Philippines. Just tracking back there again to look at the Indian Ocean. Look at that. A significant storm near Diego Garcia moving towards the south, and another storm. Both of the ones we pointed out earlier near the Seychelles also developing. So there could be two quick 1-2 punch storms going on there in the South Indian Ocean.
So basically what we could see is another possible potential of Eunice Diamondra scenario, possibly, and even, well, probably not, an interaction, which surprised a lot of us, really. But let's not get hung up on, like, February storms. That was then, this is now.
Well, let's go on to the next port of call here, and I just want to confirm or deny whether Infa is developing an eye. And
there is debate and speculation whether that is occurring.
To me, it doesn't look like an eye, Greg. Gotta tell you.
Well, I'm really not going to start arguing about it. If it's not an eye, it's not an eye. It's still got plenty of time to do it. If it's not an eye, it's not an eye. Who cares?
The latest imagery is showing that the storm appears to have sort of two flare-ups on the left and right of its centre, sort of like a massive eye wall that isn't. So perhaps the foundations may be starting to appear, but certainly no sign of an eye yet.
Yeah. Ah, there it goes. It looks like it's collapsed. Yeah, it's gave up. It's gave up the ghost of it. It was an attempt of an eye wall, but I looked at that, but it failed miserably. It did look like one. Yeah, I'll give it a. It was a fleeting glimpse of one anyway.
There can only be good
Who's
news
it?
for there can only be good news for Micronesia.
Oh yes. Once you don't see a storm with an eye, that's a good sign, because then you know it's. Well, could you call a storm with no eye weak? Because I probably wouldn't say that.
Oh well, no. I'm struggling to think of examples of storms that didn't have an eye that was strong, but
I think the one that you could probably take for like one that did make a good landfall is a typhoon, only a Category 2, and then later to be amped up to Cat 4, landfall in the Marianas Islands.
Which one was that?
Sodalar.
Sodalar.
Yep. Amped up. Apparently it was a Category 2 at landfall, but then after post-analysis of the storm, the landfall was amped up to Category 4.
Really?
Yep, it was amped up to Cat 4.
Are you sure they've done that yet? They usually.
I'm not sure, but Jason, quite earlier on, way after Sodalar dissipated, obviously, Jason told me that it was amped up to Category 4 landfall. So, has that happened? I don't know, but I'm probably going to have to take the word for it, saying that it was a Category 4 landfall, not a Cat 2. But does that also mean that solar law was stronger than 180? I hope not.
No. So a question for you, Craig. Then, what do you think Infa will do?
Well, a question about the future of the storm. That's a good question. Always asked. Always good to be asked. Well, I could definitely possibly see it becoming a typhoon. Don't know how strong. Possibly even a major. Possibly see a major out of it. Obviously, it's the West Pacific. Anything can happen. Near enough 10% of the time. Near enough. Every single one of near enough has become a Cat 5. Near enough. A good majority of them, anyway.
Near enough.
Yeah. Basically, as we always say, when a disturbance is detected in the West Pacific, when it's given, what, 10% chance, means a Cat 5, or is it 0% chance? And when it's given 100% chance, it means tropical storm and no more.
I don't know.
So,
I'm just looking at latest shear map, actually. Shear is increasing.
You take a chair? Sorry, I don't know, doing a live broadcast.
That sounds like David
Nice.
telling someone he's doing a live broadcast. Hello,
This
David.
shit's hot.
David, your mic's live.
God's sake.
Okay, maybe not.
24-hour shear tendency. I'm just going to try and see if I can confirm that
the
for
shear
you.
is rising around the storm, I have to say, and it looks like that it may have less of a window than it did earlier now. I don't know whether that may change at some point.
That's it,
Infa.
Oh, Atlantic!
Yeah, what's going on here?
What's going on, Craig?
This is the Atlantic. Let's have a laugh at that.
Oh, let's move right over there and look at the
Let's move on. Yeah, let's completely move on. Come on, hurry up. Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
Just
that is messy, to say the least, in the Atlantic. David, your mic's still live. Can you even hear us?
Fuck.
Don't swear on air. Oh.
David, you're on air. No.
I think
himself.
He's gone. That's good.
All right. Anyway,
I'm back.
Welcome back.
oh.
So I just had technical issues this way. I know audio, but all good
it
now.
sounded like you had technical issues, David.
Yeah.
You do know your mic was live for over a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And sadly, you ended up dropping the F-bomb.
I think it was. I don't know if
It did sound like it.
I apologise.
it's okay.
I was wondering what was.
It's all right,
I was
David.
wondering what was going on.
Yes.
I've got the wife beside me, so.
We're looking at the shear maps now.
Yes. Eastern
Craig,
Pacific.
Any help for those possible storms? It looks pretty bad.
Bleak. Pretty bleak and slim, but decreasing wind shear is always a good sign for the storms. But where are the storms currently located? I think what could become Rick singing right in this
little chasm
bolt.
there.
Yes, because I think you can definitely see. Yeah, there's the wind shear pocket. So he's sitting right in the low wind shear slit in it.
Yeah.
So
the whole thing is.
So if he's gonna have to remain small, and then actually, where's the wind? Where did I put the wind shear map? There
One
it is.
thing we can say, Craig, is that this won't become a Patricia, right?
Oh God! Oh Jesus! Don't remind me of that. Don't, just please don't.
Don't remind me of
Jesus,
that either. I was on a plane when it made landfall.
Yeah, but you caught it at peak, so that was a good thing.
I suppose.
At least they didn't do a soda lore. You were on holiday when he peaked.
I mean, I would like to have stayed to obviously inform people about the landfall. We are here to serve, but luckily for me, our team take the reins when I'm gone now in extreme circumstances such as that. And Devon, I saw what he did on the live event, and it was a fine job, aided by Craig, David, Marcel, and John. I think we're all.
We did what we could.
Indeed. We're always here, even when we're not. David, have you got any late news for us?
That's me in the house now.
Oh, Lee's here as well.
Perhaps Lee does.
Okay, right, Nathan. I'm gonna slight increase here. So this is gonna be a change in the story. Seeing as how Linfa? Whoa, I'm going back a lot. I'm in the wrong part of the West Pacific here. Linfa ended up forming here.
Go on. What were you saying?
Anyway, Infa. It's got a good chance if it keeps on moving, which the way it is moving. It's got decreasing wind shear not an alarming rate, but it needs to stick to the low wind shear. Possibly end up having to battle this area here.
That does look
I
like
don't
a
see
battle.
it. But at least it's not going to hit that. Let's put it that way.
It will be interesting to see what happens. I mean, the JTWC still bullish with their prediction. I'm not sure what the JMA are saying at this time. Let me find out for you.
Well, the next question is how strong will it get? Because this is no favourability conditions for a super typhoon, which is a good
Well,
sign.
the JMAs think it will be a typhoon in 3 days.
Well, I could probably put that for a lesser time, but it's
Actually,
trying to
they
do.
think it will be a typhoon in, what's that, 2 days.
So now you know 48 hours.
48 hours from now, yes.
Jesus.
And the JTWC, I think, have it on an even sooner time scale. Yeah, 36 hours to become a Cat 1.
Jesus. Also, just to point out, the South China Sea is going to start getting possibly some activity because it is decreasing wind shear. So that's a good sign for something else.
There has to be a storm there to begin with.
Oh yes, and I don't think there is one at all.
All right. Well, I think we've discussed Infa enough. If anyone's got any questions about the storm, let us know. But because Lee's arrived, and the reason why he's here is to tell us about his insights on the UK and possibly European weather scene as we enter the last 15 minutes of the show. Lee, over to you.
Yeah, I'd been following the weather for quite some time, and I see our first cold snap of the season.
Yes, first freeze for many coming up this weekend.
Yes, definitely. I know you have to get about 3 or 4 degrees, but further north you go, it's going to get colder than that. I think the coldest temperature will be around about 0 in some parts of Scotland. I also see scattered snow showers as well, but these won't be everywhere.
Yep.
So, I don't.
So, Lee, tell us about this current windstorm that we're having.
Oh, you're talking about Barney, aren't you?
Yes, you can see the latest imagery from Force 13 HQ. Looking outside, it appears to have calmed down a bit. Earlier we were reporting winds here, well, gale force. I mean, we filmed it here at HQ, Lee. If at the end of the show you might want to rewind to the start to watch that again, because I played it out live. But it's certainly been rather treacherous. What would you like to say about that?
Well, I know the strongest winds from this storm's further south, more from Midlands southwards, and also Southern Ireland, for people in Southern Ireland as well. I can see your image there now.
Sorry?
Sorry, I was just saying I can see your image now.
Yes.
But I'll certainly go back and watch
the live shot that you're talking about
there. And also to add something,
it's looking rather calm on the live
shot. Isn't it? It's looking much calmer now.
Yeah, it seems to have abated rather quickly. Even the rain is starting to dry off my window here.
Yeah, the rain's off here as well now. It's quite a wet day up here.
It certainly has.
Mm-hmm. And also to add out, well, I'll let Lee finish.
Sorry?
I'll let you finish, Lee.
It's much colder tonight, actually. It's only 4 degrees.
Yes, it is rather cold. In fact, let me just check out what the weather is here at 8. The temperature is still rather warm, actually. Well, warmish. 9 degrees here.
Is it? Well, I do believe tomorrow's the last mild day before this cold snap gets going, yes.
I just want to point out that in England and Wales there are still 26 flood alerts in effect. 10 of those are in the northeast. 10 flood warnings, of which 5 are in the northeast, 2 in the Midlands, 2 in the northwest, and 1 in Wales. In Scotland, I think only 1 warning remains in effect, and that is for Glen Leon, which is in Tayside somewhere, I think.
Yes, it is. It's near Dundee. Yeah.
Near Dundee. That's the only flood warning in Scotland right now. As far as flood warnings in England, I'm going to go through them rather quickly for our UK viewers. Flood warnings, some weird names as well, you'll like these. The River Vyrnwy at Melverley. It's a weird name. Check this out for a name. Vyrnwy.
Right, that's a funny
The
name.
River Vyrnwy at Melverley, including Melverley Green, and at Maesbrook. So that's in the Midlands. In the northeast, the River Ouse at Alcaster in Selby. Cockbeck at Stutton. Are they trying to make us laugh? River Ouse,
They must be.
River Ouse at York. 2 warnings there. And the River Ouse at Neyburn Lock. In the northwest, the English Dee from Shocklack to Chester, that is the River Dee, and Keswick Campsite in Cumbria, where there's a lake which they're still monitoring and have been doing for several days, and that is all.
Also, just to add out, I just saw the weather forecast for here. Southern Scotland's supposed to get 50-mile-an-hour winds plus,
Yeah, we're due some higher winds tomorrow again.
and some very, very significant rainfall.
Yeah, we have
Twice.
to another day of rain tomorrow.
Yeah, but a lot worse than what we got today. A lot worse.
Yeah.
Southern Scotland's supposed to get a lot worse.
It's one after another, isn't it, with these extra
It is.
But
It's
once-
And I saw this on the models a day or two ago, actually, where it was just a train of extratropical storms spanning the Atlantic from Newfoundland to Ireland.
Mhm. Oh yeah, it was basically hit or miss. Basically.
But what
it
will
was
happen is
mainly
once
hit.
Barney, sorry,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lee.
once Barney moves away north, the winds will start to come down from Greenland, from Arctic Greenland.
Yeah, and that brings us on to this winter, and you know the
That's
thick of it. Tell us what's going on.
well.
Expected to go on.
So do you want me to say what's going to happen through the winter itself?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you've done some research on this, haven't you, Lee? And,
Yes, I have.
I just want to.
I'll
put in a
make
little-
it brief though.
Yeah, go on.
I'll let you go first if you want to.
Well, I just want you to perhaps put a little perspective here for our North American viewers as well, and if you could possibly shed some light on what's going to happen there too. Is that possible?
I can say something about America as well, yeah, if you want.
Well, go ahead, Lee.
I'll start with the UK first.
Yes.
For the UK, I see a colder than average winter compared to the last two. And I do believe that this is the first cold snap of the season as well.
Do you think that this winter is going to mirror the one that we saw in 2009?
Yes, but not the first half though.
Well, this is the first half.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it would be the
Yeah.
first half. I see
Compared
it
to like
happening.
rainfall or something like that, Lee.
No, I'm talking about snowfall and things.
Oh, right.
Remember the snowfall we had in
Mm-hmm.
2009-10 and
Now I can't
Yes.
remember when
10-11.
I can't remember when the snow started. I mean, I looked back at some photos and
what
clear-
year?
2009-10, and I can tell from the photos that I took back then that it was bad by the 20th of December. It had started.
I
the
can
snow
tell
coming
you when
back.
it started. I can tell you exactly when it started.
2010. I
The
on the 10th.
2010, sorry.
In December, I ended up upside down in the ditch in a car.
Now I'm talking about 2009. That,
I
Right,
know that.
the 2009-10 started in early December.
Yes.
The first snowfall started in early December,
and
and
by
that
early
one,
early 2010, it was pretty bad.
yeah, it was quite a wintry January as well.
I think that was the
That
worst
winter.
January in record or something. I can't remember.
It was quite a bad January actually.
It was. It was an atrocious.
The 2010-11 winter, it was December that became the worst December in 100 years.
Yeah, and that worst
Yeah.
December, I ended up in a car upside down in
And I
the
can
ditch.
tell you, see Piers Corbyn down at London, he'd actually predicted that 2010 December, May that year. He knew it was coming.
Well, we'll see if Lee's right this time. But,
So, but
But you know, we had the flooding in Cumbria last week, or flood concerns, which is very similar
Yeah.
to the ones in
But
2009, though they were a bit worse.
What
So,
I'm going to say to you, Nathan,
Yeah.
is February 2016 will be similar to 2010.
will be what?
See, the
Similar.
February of next year, that's looking to be similar
Similar
to
to 2010.
2010.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Probably.
Even Piers down in London saying the same.
yeah,
Uh,
of course.
He's having a meeting next week about it.
Because what is it, Lee? Is it something like every 6 years
Sorry?
or something? I can't remember what the year span is. Is it like every 6 years or something? I can't remember what the actual correct year span is, but after every winter, a certain
Well-
year, after a certain year span, will mirror like a bad winter or a certain winter of any year.
Yeah, there seems to be
That
there's
makes any
cycles. There's actually cycles on Earth where the Earth goes through warm cycles and cold cycles.
Yeah, and also
Uh,
just to point out, the warmest El Nino on record as well
Well,
is
that's
occurring.
actually, well, it's not actually as bad as you've been told. The El Nino.
No, but it is the warmest.
It is warm. It is really warm, but
And in fact,
Oh,
Well,
what's
it's
that here?
sorry.
oh wait, what are we looking at? What are we looking at?
But the El Nino's not.
Oh,
gonna
it's
last
David.
long.
He's doing the screen share. He's
Ah.
doing the Himawari imagery all over the South
What are
Pacific.
you guys talking?
Yeah, we are a little bit short of time here, so
Yeah,
That's
we're
all
about-
right.
it might be interesting to have some chat about the wider climate scenario another day.
Yeah,
but
I
in the
think
meantime, I just
so.
want you to touch on what's going on, what you're expecting in North America this winter.
Oh yes, that's right. I think it's going to be a milder winter due to the
Milder.
El Nino.
Well,
Yeah,
Martinez says, all I know about the winter is that we're going to get wrecks thanks to El Nino. I think he's
That's a bit of an
south
exaggeration.
somewhere. So I'm
No.
not sure not sure what he means by wrecked, whether it's
The worst-
snow or cold
well,
or
I'm
wet
going to try
or
and
dry
say
or
to you.
or wind storms, that sort of area.
Well, they're going to, the bulk of the storms will go along the south of America.
Yeah.
It's called the subtropical jet that'll track
And
through
also,
the,
there's a subtropical ridge that's based there as well.
yes, that's right.
Better touch and go.
They're still predicting some snowstorms along the east coast, but not as many
That is
as
true.
the last two winters. But
'Cause-
overall, they're looking at a much milder winter there in America.
Now, I'm not sure whether you've read on this, Lee, but I'm pretty sure that you've had. But I'm pretty sure that you have anyway. But apparently, sometime this winter, we are supposedly to get hit by a snowstorm of some description, possibly
Well,
something like
it's
extratropical
very-
cyclone,
it's-
big
It's
snow.
very possible. It's definitely possible at the moment because solar
Yeah.
activity is lower as well. Last year it was much higher. That's why we didn't get much last year.
Right.
So I think we're heading for a much colder winter this time. So this is our first
Not good.
taste. First taste this weekend.
So this is basically what this could also be put down to the contributing factor of most of the very strong systems that we saw in the tropical regions to the higher
Yes.
solar activity.
Well, yes, it can indeed.
Right. That'll explain Patricia then, Nathan.
But Patricia was definitely caused by the El Nino
It had to-
waters as well.
There
Why
was
did you want to
only
talk about Patricia?
only one.
And Nathan, that was caused by the very warm El Nino waters that helped to
Yeah.
strengthen Patricia.
Well, we're going to have plenty more discussion on these sort of things over the winter months, I'm sure. We're also going to be talking more about Infa tomorrow, I expect, but that's it from us for now. We'll probably be back sometime tomorrow. We're going to have recorded updates, of course, like we did earlier on today. But from Force 13 HQ, that is all, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, guys, for joining us, and thanks to the viewers for joining us as well. We're always
It's
here
been
to
a
take
pleasure.
questions when
Yeah.
we're off air as well as on air. And stay safe out there if you're being affected by Windstorm Barney. Don't go standing on the edge of a cliff when there's 50-mile-an-hour winds, okay?
Oh God, don't.
Definitely not.
Alright.